Brother Sewing and Crafting family. I'm Angela Wolf, brand ambassador, and we are at your side virtually. So excited to take over Brother Sewing and Crafting Facebook and YouTube page. Say hi, say where you're from. I see some of you already rolling in. Boy, do we have a fun show for you today. You might have remembered a while back when Brenda was showing so many awesome different things, but she had some really cool looking pot holders. And I think there were so many comments that said, would you please show us how to make those? That's what we're going to do for you today. So I have Brenda waiting, and I see you all and making sure there's no sound issues. It looks like internet's working today. Whoop, whoop. So I have a cute story for you. So today, it's been one of those backwards days. I can't even explain it, but do you ever have one of those? Maybe it's a full moon. I don't know. But I've been doing this new workout on my TV, and you all know I feed peanuts to my squirrels each morning. So there's a new baby squirrel, and the baby squirrel will come right to the window, take the peanut, and run. Not right out of my hand, but like pretty close. So this morning I'm doing this workout. I must have looked something ridiculous. And the squirrel sits on his back legs. He put the peanut in his mouth, which usually that's gone in 3 seconds, looked in the window and stared at me for about half of the workout. He probably thought, what in the heck is she doing? He never even, if I could have gotten the photo, it would have been the $1 million photo for the day. So I'm just going to tell you about it. So that's enough about squirrels and working out. Let's bring Brenda to the party. Hey, Brenda.
Hey, Angela. How are you?
Good.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh my gosh. So I think that pot holder, I should probably put peanuts in there for my little squirrels.
Oh, maybe we could get some peanut fabric.
Oh, wouldn't that be fantastic? I love it. So it's so great to see you, all of you that have never met Brenda before. Many of you have, but if you haven't, she's an awesome brother educator. She's been on here before. If you want to go back and watch previous episodes of At Your Side, you can watch them on YouTube or Facebook. So welcome to the party, Brenda.
Thank you. And thanks for, hosting this awesome show. And you're a great host, by the way, in case nobody ever told you that.
Oh, thank you.
So one of my favorite things to do, and I've done it for a long, long time, is make little gifts, and quick and easy, of course, some not so fast, but as quick as I can get, but for friends, family, for Christmas, birthdays, thank yous, or just, kind of whatever. So this was like a quick little hot pad that you can make. It's a great gift because almost everyone has a table and a kitchen. So, there you go. You really can't go wrong with something somebody can use. And what a great way to use up some of your leftover fabric. So I'm going to, I think, just hop right into it. I'll go over to the kind of cutting table and show you a few samples and kind of show you how it goes together.
That sounds awesome. So I have to say, in case you are all thinking, hot pad, how could that even be? Wait till you see her samples. I don't even think of these as hot pads. I actually think of something beautiful to put on the table. Just so you know.
A centerpiece pad. There we go.
This is a couture hot pad. Let's go with that. Okay, Brenda, I'll meet you at your table.
Thank you.
So much fun. Wait till you see these. And by the way, I don't cook very much, but these are so cute. And I actually have these on my list for gifts coming up. So I'm so glad Brenda's on here to show us these, because now I can maybe start early, right? Oh, there it is, Brenda. So cute.
Let me get this into, your line of view. Can you see it okay, Angela?
We can see it wonderfully.
Wonderful. So this is just, again, made with 6 9 by 9 inch squares, and some of the reflective, heat resistant, reflective kind of batting stuff that you can get probably at any quilt shop or fabric store. But it's a great way, like if you've got a quarter yard and only use half of it, you have 2 squares to start adding to your stash. So if you don't know what to cut them up to, and you what size to cut them to, and you want to make some of these, just cut 9 inch squares. So there's another one. And the back actually looks pretty cute. I mean, you just use a coordinating fabric there, and here is one that I did up, and I'm going to just zoom in because this is also a great way. How many of you have like a gazillion decorative stitches and you don't know what to do with them half the time? Well, these little fold overs, which I'm going to show you in a little bit, you can add a decorative stitch of your choice here. Can you see that?
Oh my gosh, that is so cute. Yeah,
Okay.
we can actually count. Your camera's so good that we can
Count
actually
the stitches, huh?
we can actually count the fibers. This is fantastic.
This isn't the same one, but I wanted to show it because we're going to be using of course I didn't clip my threads, but we're going to be using the Move It foot today, and I'm going to talk about that just a little bit because it is one of my favorite accessories on the machine. Because it makes quilting and decorating very, very easy. So this was just really fun, but it was, as you can see, with smaller scraps. So I had to piece this one. And then talking about quilting, I'm going to talk just how you can quilt with that Move It foot. Oh, okay, this is a little bright. Let's see if we can tone it down just a little bit for you.
We can see it wonderfully, actually.
Oh, good. So again, using decorative stitches, or with the Move It foot, I use the stitch in the ditch foot, and I'm able to quilt little areas or big areas, whatever you want to do. It's a great tool to use. So I'm going to grab my supplies that you need. So first, you're going to need, as I mentioned, 6 9x9 squares. And then I cut this reflective, heat resistant reflective batting stuff about a 1/4 inch less. That way I don't have to do any trimming because less work is better, right? So I cut this at about 8 3/4 inch square. And then here are some more than 9 inch. I've already pre-pressed them. So I've got 6 9x9 squares, and then you take 4 of them and you fold them in half so that you're making a triangle and press. So I've got 2 of those, and then I have 2 of these. All folded in half and pressed real nice. Pretty simple so far?
I think I can handle that so far.
So these are going to be my top, the ones we're going to fold eventually and do our decorative stitching. This is going to be my little peekaboo. I'm going to grab this back. See how I have a little peekaboo here in the center? So I've got my little peekaboo, and then I have my backing. Now you're going to take the backing and you're going to put it, we're going to layer this. You're going to take the backing and put it right side down. We're going to see if I can give you the right instructions. And then add your little heat-resistant batting. And just kind of center it. As you already know, I've cut it just a tad bit less than my squares. That way I don't have to trim so much.
That's a good tip.
And then I'm going to take my peekaboo fabric, and I'm going to put it next, right side up. And then I'm going to start layering my squares on there. So I'm going to take my first triangle, match the corner up, and the end goes to the points of each diagonally there to the next corner. Then I'm just going to alternate them. So I'm going to have one of these pink ones. Maybe. It's like sewing 10 feet from your sewing machine. Then I put that one on, and then we're going to go and add our next printed fun fabric here. Again, you could make these all 4 different fabrics if you wanted to. I mean, the choice is yours. So I've got 3 on there. I'm going to take this last one and fold it back. Right? No, actually, I need to fold the first one back. Oops, a little, And then lay this in here. And then lay that right back out.
Oh my God. I'm watching that. I'm like, how is that going to work out? This is like making a sandwich. I'm waiting for you to throw some mayonnaise.
Yeah, so, I mean, it can't get too much easier, can it?
Oh my gosh, super easy. So remember, fold the first one back, not the last
Yes,
one.
yeah. And you know, if it when you lay it down, if it's not right, you're going to notice right away, right?
Exactly.
So I'm going to bring up the one I've already put together. You know, just by getting ready for the show, Angela, I got a few potholders I can give away.
Oh gosh.
So what I like to do is, after I have it all layered, you notice how I take these little clips, you know, but you could use straight pins or whatever you're happy or whatever you normally use. I like the clips. They're just, I don't get stuck as much with them. So, and then just kind of clip it in a couple of places, you know, especially at the corners. I want to kind of keep them in place. But I'm going to tell you right now, this is the most forgiving, you know, like fast, easy, fun little project. And you know, depending on your fabrics, you know how we can get really creative with those. You'll have a lot of fun doing different combinations. Anybody have any questions about layering it? It's pretty simple.
I think everybody's sitting there saying, so cool, it's magical. That was so simple. So you got layer, layer, and then all your triangles. And
that's all we have to do is go to the machine, kind of get it set up, and we'll stitch all the way around the outside here. And I stitch about a 3/8 inch seam allowance because, again, I don't really want to have to clip if I don't, and I found that works really good. Other than I'll clip the corners, but I'll show you that here in just a little bit. So we'll go to the sewing machine.
Sounds good. See you there.
Okay.
So while she's headed to the sewing machine, I saw some of the Wolfpack saying, you love my sweater. How can I be wearing long sleeve? Well, I'm in Michigan, so that means one day's 90, and the next day, like today, is like 67. I had to go through a whole different drawer today. I know. It's just one of those days, like I mentioned. Is this the cutest project ever? I told you this was great. When she said she was going to do this, I thought, okay, everyone. And I see a lot of you rolled in a little bit later. So she's on her machine. What you can do, though, is save this. If you're on Facebook, save it to your own page. You can watch it later. And if you're on YouTube, you can go back there as well. But be sure to subscribe, and you'll never miss a video. So let's bring her back up. I see your machine perfectly.
All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is set up the machine for the couple of little things. It's very simple, as I mentioned. Now I have on this machine the digital dual feed or move it foot. Some of you may have that with your machine, and if you do, it is great for this kind of work as well as quilting, especially if you don't like free motion quilting. It's a great alternative to doing some using decorative stitches in your quilting. But let's just go in here to our utility stitches. We're going to go to stitch number 101. So I need category 1. And then basically that is just a straight stitch in the left position, needle position. I'm going to pop off my open toe foot. This is the,
I don't know if anybody notices while you're holding that foot up, point at your screen right there. It tells you what foot it shows you you're moving.
Yes. So it knows I have the digital dual feed hooked to my machine. The reason is because hence the digital, it plugs into the machine. So as soon as you plug it in, it's there. And the great thing about this foot, and how it's different from a traditional walking foot, is it's belt driven. And essentially what that means is it's always in contact with your upper fabric, your top fabric, and your feed dogs, of course, are in contact with your lower fabric. Therefore, it's pulling your fabric through at the same rate. And that's what really makes it so different than your traditional walking foot, where it comes off of the fabric. You know, it will it's kind of like a hopping foot, but it's not. It kind of just comes up, you know, up and down off of your fabric. This never leaves your fabric, the belt on the dual feed.
And also, many of you watching, she's on the Luminaire, but you might have this foot on some of the other machines, the Dream Machine, some of those others, Stellaire. So check all of those. If you don't, you might be able to get it with your machine. So check that too. But anyway, she's on the Luminaire. I saw somebody asking that.
Yes. I'm sorry I didn't say that, but yes. And So, but yes, Angela's right. There are a lot of machines that this is compatible with. So check that out. You may have one. The other great thing is it works with several of the decorative stitches, which we will be using when we go back to finish our hot pad. Remember, I was showing you the samples. So different decorative stitches to finish it. The other nice thing about the digital dual feed is if you want to just do a quick sewing job without having it engaged, there's a little switch, if you will, on the foot itself where you can disengage it and leave it right on the machine and just sew up a quick seam or something.
Wonderful.
So in addition to the stitch, we're also going to engage our pivot, which this is really nice because when I go to turn those corners, the needle will stay down, but the presser foot will lift. So when it's turned blue, it's engaged. I'm also going to engage the automatic reverse and automatic thread cutting. So that's really about as easy as it gets to get this first step set up. I'm going to turn my camera here real quickly to our sewing machine. So the sewing bed, so you can see that.
Looks great.
We have what we're using right now is the 1/4 inch piecing foot that goes on the digital dual feet. And I just laid this, let me get the presser foot down. Get my thread out of my way. I'm gonna just put the foot right under there. There's a couple of little clips, I guess. I don't know what you want to call them. And it just clips right in place. And now, since I pulled the thread out of the needle, let's thread that again. That's my #1 favorite thing of all times because I don't have to have my glasses or contacts in to see to thread the needle. All right. So now we have our layered hot pad. Let's get this under here. Now I just start on any of the sides, anywhere, and as I said, I'm doing about a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance because I like to do just a little bit more than a 1/4 inch on this because it's kind of bulky and stuff just to hold it. So I have got my 1/4 inch foot on here, and it has a flange at the edge of the fabric. I'm going to run my fabric along that flange, and by having my needle over the left position, I'm doing about a 3/8 of an inch. So let's just go ahead and start. Wait a minute. Oops.
Brenda, you're on the Luminaire, but sorry, I just was reading somebody's comment. You have the actual extra table attached to that, correct?
I do. I have the wide table and sewing, I really love it for any kind of project just because there's so much room.
From here, and somebody had commented, what a huge sewing area. From here, it looks like it's actually part of the sewing machine. You can't even tell that it's the extra table attached. It fits perfectly.
It's big though. I mean, I don't remember the dimensions right offhand, but it's a nice size table. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch. Now there's markings on this, and remember I turned on the automatic reverse stitch and automatic thread cutting, and if you notice when I started, it automatically did the reverse stitching, which is really nice. So the markings on your 1/4 inch, though there's like 3 markings on the metal part of this foot. One at the needle, one at 1/8 of an inch, and one at 1/4 of an inch. And as I said, I'm doing a 3/8. But the really cool thing about this project, let me get down here to the corner and I'll show you what I mean, is I want to stop, get my fingers out of the way. I want to stop stitching right where these meet. So kind of right here. Can you see that okay?
We sure can.
Okay, so that's what my goal is. So I'm going to just stitch down there, watching my needle, And when I get to that point, I'm about there. It's kind of hard when you're sitting far away. And then just turn and start stitching down the other side. So it's pretty hard so far, right?
I think we're good so far. And I saw somebody on here saying you have an older machine. Yes, of course you can sew these potholders. You just won't have foot, but you can use regular foot if you want, or a walking foot, either one.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, I'm at that intersection where they meet. Down the next side. It goes so fast. What do you think?
It's fast and it's so quiet.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's a great machine to sew with when people are sleeping.
Margaret said she's going out right now to get that heat resistant and those clips. Good idea, Margaret.
Okay. Be sure to post them so we can see them. They're kind of fun. I mean, and you guys all know how many beautiful fabrics. I mean, fun fabrics. We'll have a ball with this because, you know, the other thing I like about this is I can have it done in a half hour.
Oh, I love that. No, Margaret, yes, Saturday evening project. But you only need a half an hour, Margaret, so you might have to make a few for gifts.
I'm back to where I started. And now all you're going to do is is push the reverse, and we remember engage the automatic. And look what it does. It will sew in reverse. Plus it's going to cut my threads and raise my presser foot for me.
So you went all the way around and you did not leave any openings?
No openings. That is the cool part about it. So you're wondering how I'm going to turn it. Well, because of the way this is, you're just going to start. But before I turn, I want to actually bring over this so I can show you. Make sure that you guys do this because it will make your corners better. See how I clip the corners diagonally?
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
There we go. Clip them diagonally to take away some of that bulk. And sometimes I'll even snip a little bit diagonally along the edge leading up to the corner. Just be careful not to, of course, cut your thread because it won't stay together then. So once you have that all clipped, then all you do is you start turning these. And so as I'm turning, just kind of put my finger in there and poke out this corner. Go to the next one. Can you see what I'm doing, I hope?
Oh, yes.
Okay. And all the way around, once you have all four corners poked out, what I like to do, here, let me get this a little bit so it looks like something, kind of looks like a mess until you get there. Okay, we're kind of getting there. Use some kind of poker, whatever you have in hand. There's a lot of things we can poke with. And just go and, poke out your corners. I'm not doing a very good job because guess what? For the magic of live, I have another one already. But you get the idea that you want to just kind of spend a little time poking out your corner. And then what I do once I have my corners all poked out and everything, there you have it flat. So take this again to your pressing table, give it a nice press. I kind of like go to the back, kind of make sure I have this all folded over. Now I did not do a great job with this, as you guys can probably see, but press that nice and flat.
That looks pretty good from this end, by the way, without
Awesome.
even
Good.
on the pressing.
So after you press it, then our next task is we're going to take and we're going to fold each one of these little things back. And there is no, I usually just go by, does that look good, right? That's all I usually do. But if you wanted to get, I guess, get into measuring, you could say go back 3/4 of an inch because that's what I have found most of mine to be.
Josie, I was thinking the same thing and I decided not to say it. She says, do not use your scissors
Oh,
to push out the corners. She's like, not.
that's probably not the best thing, but if you got chopsticks in the drawer that you never use, those work good.
Oh, that's a good one. And also, by the way, let me see who mentioned that. The Snowball feature said, could I use the Snowball feature when I wanted to get to each corner? Absolutely. If you have the Luminaire, that would have been a great.
Yeah.
Great
that would be an awesome thing to do because, well, you'll see when we get to the corners and how that would work. And what a great thought. I wish I was that smart.
I know. Good idea, Dolly. Good idea.
So then turn back your next one. You're just going to go around and I'll press these after I get them all situated. But just go around and turn each one back. And do you see how now I've revealed my center?
Oh, yes.
So after I turn those back, I press them really nicely. And then I have something similar to this. And I don't know if you can see it because I probably have all my clips right in the way, but there you go. But you can see now I have a space to sew my decorative stitch along all those spots. So that's our next task. And guess what? After that's done, it's done.
That is amazing. You made a lot of these for this show. You are already ready for the next one.
I know. Now I just hope I have enough friends.
My God.
First, before we sew, what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put on the open toe foot. And to get these little feet off of the Move It, that's super easy. You just kind of pop it down. Not too complicated there, right? And then we'll take and put on other than having my arm in your viewing space, sorry about that.
No, we can see perfectly. Thanks for moving.
Put the foot right under there and then lower the presser foot and lever and you pop it right on. Pretty simple.
Carol said she'll be your friend.
Yeah, I love this. Let's see if we can get in just a little bit further. I love the open toe because then when you start, especially with what we're going to do next, you have a good view of where you want to stitch on these, along these edges. So it makes it really easy. I'm going to quickly though, if you guys don't mind, change up my thread. I use just for sewing it together, I'll usually do several of them and just use some white or some whatever color you use for kind of a neutral type color, so a tan, a gray, whatever, it just something, and then sew up a bunch of them. And then the fun starts when you start doing the little bit of finishing stitch on there. You can use some pretty threads, you can choose some of your stitches, and then, just play around, I guess, with it to see what, your tastes are. But I would take the time this time to really play with those stitches, but because, I know for me, I don't use enough of them.
We love the needle center.
Here we go. Now we are going to set the machine. I'm going to slide you right back if I can. Whoops. Make you dizzy while I'm doing it.
That's all right. The Wolfpack used to take Dramamine before our live shows.
It's a requirement, I suppose. So we're going to change our stitch here for the decorative stitching. We're going to go to category 2. And this is like one of my favorites, but I've used a couple of the others and stuff, but play around with it, when you have time and just want to play with those scraps you're saving to make these, use some different stitches. Because when I did play with it, I had a lot of fun shaking it up. But for the sake of, I know this works really well, we'll do that. How's that?
Hey, the serpentine stitch. We just talked about this yesterday. Joanne, it's her favorite stitch, and I used to call it the swirly, and I guess it's technically.
Yes, serpentine stitch. And again, I don't want to pound on this or anything, but if you feel uncomfortable at all with free motion quilting, but you have quilting that you would like to do, this Move It Foot or digital dual feed is a great alternative. Plus, then you can use some decorative stitches such as this one, or, depending on if you're doing it has a foot that's a stitch in the ditch, makes it super easy for stitching in the ditch. So there's a lot of great uses with the digital dual feed. But I want to also make sure that I have these engaged. One other feature I want to show you here is on page 3 of this machine. And I know, again, this is on other machines. This is the reinforcement priority. I have it turned on. And essentially what that means when I've engaged my automatic reverse as well is when I'm at the end of my stitching, let's see if I can get this up. I'm going to stitch from here, and it's automatically going to do a tie off where I start. And I'm going to just stitch down to about where I want. I don't mark these. You certainly can mark a certain distance from the end if you want. I usually just wing it, and wherever it seems like a good place, I'll choose my tie off or my reverse button on my machine. And what it will do is just a tie off for me. It's going to tie off, cut the thread, and of course raise the presser foot all at the same time with the touch of one button. So let's do it.
That sounds good. Susan, I see there's a few quick questions for you, though.
Sure.
Are you using cotton only thread, or do you have a preference of thread for this?
For these decorative stitches, and should you use it? Probably, because, especially if you plan on having heat. But what I had on hand, I wanted to use some of my embroidery thread for the colors. So I would probably, for practical purposes, use a cotton thread.
Perfect. That was a great question.
If it's going to have heat on it, polyester, it's going to take some of the heat, but it might not take it as well as, a cotton thread. So just something to think about. Okay.
Carol says that she loves that squiggly stitch too, but she said her straight stitch sometimes look like that as well. You got your own squiggly stitch.
Yep. Hey, it's personalized. How's our view of the foot?
We can see it great.
Okay.
So now you're stitching through all of the layers, just to be clear.
So what I'm going to stitch is I have my foot. You can probably see I do have it setting up on this, fun print here, right? Mm-hmm. But I only wanted to stitch on this polka dot one. So I put my foot about where I want it. So I have it kind of up on there. I have my foot centered on my little turn, my little fold here. But now what I'm going to do is raise my presser leveler and kind of fold that back fabric out of the way. Because I wanted to start stitching this stitch under, the beginning of the stitch to be under this print right here. Does that make sense?
It sure does.
Okay. So I just kind of put my foot where I want it, but then I need to move this fabric kind of slide up so it doesn't get stitched down, because we don't want it stitched. We just want to stitch through all the layers that are under this print right here. So here we go. We'll see how we do. Get this little centered and we're on our way. So it did its tie off when we started. And then I'm going to come down here, just kind of, I'm trying to keep this in the center of my foot. So I'm stitching down the center of my fold. Of course, the fold gets narrower. So just kind of adjust for that. Go down to about where you want it to be. And I'm going to, maybe a couple more stitches. Now I'm going to go ahead and press Woo. Hope you really did have your Dramamine on that one. I'm going to go ahead and press the tie off. And what it's doing is it's tying off. That only means it's stitching in place, so there's no back stitching because we don't really want back stitching there. And there you go.
That was pretty easy.
Yeah. So you're going to just go and around the hot pad, and I'm going over here to the next one. I'll line up one more for you to show you how this is done one more time. I'm centering, get my hand out of the way. I'm centering the foot, and I have the foot kind of sitting on the blue polka dot fabric, but I don't want to stitch through that. So I'm going to raise the lever, kind of push that fabric out of the way as much as I can, just so it doesn't stitch on it. I'm having a hard time. Okay. There we go. We'll call it good. I don't move it forward. There we go. Okay. So I don't think it's going to hit it from the looks of it. Oh, just missed it. How's that? And then you just do the tie off, and you just keep stitching and do the same thing. Move that out of the way. Stitch down.
You know, this would really be a great project for beginners or kids. Anything, not kids or beginners, but I mean, if you're trying to just learn how to sew, this would be a great project. Super simple.
Yeah. So, you know, it's also on all of those reasons that you just mentioned, Angela. But every one of them, a beginner, a child, or whoever, you know, because they are a beginner, it is so nice to be able to walk away with something finished on your first time. You know, because that just brings that, you know, that's encouragement to come back. Okay, I can do something, you know.
Kay says, awesome. Happy belated birthday, Kay. This would be a great gift to make for yourself.
Yes. So again, I'm going to line up this and I'm going to bring over this one. I want it, and I did it in yellow thread, so I'm not sure if you can see it. I'm going to bring it in again. I know we showed it to you once.
Mara, I'll come right back to your question, but yes, that circle dot actually makes it tie off instead of back stitch. So yes, thanks for that.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, goodness.
So there's another stitch, and that's what I was talking about, is go ahead and give yourself, you know, the liberties and, you know, get creative and try some of the other stitches. When you attach the Move It foot, there are several that the Move It foot will work with. But no, if they are grayed out, that just means that it's not compatible with the Move It foot. So just choose one that is, and you know, I can change this serpentine stitch to make it look even different just by changing up the length or the width of it.
Wow, that really looks good. You know, I was just thinking of something, what Dolly had asked earlier, those that have the Luminaire that want to play with that Snowball sticker, this would be a great place for that. Don't forget to put your on.
Yes.
Brenda, bring us back to your, move your camera a little bit. Or zoom out, I think is what it is. Yeah, there we go. Now.
Yeah. Sorry, I zoomed in so you could see that other, sorry.
Great.
So this is all there is to it. When this is all done, you are finished. And there we go. Now, just a quick note, quick note is because I have that reinforcement priority setting activated in the machine settings, as well as the automatic reverse, I don't have to actually, wow, sorry about that, Angela. I don't actually have to push the tie off or the reinforcement button. I can touch reverse and it will do the same thing because I have activated the reinforcement priority. So we'll just do that. So it's going to do the same tie off. So if that button seems to be more convenient, you know, it's easy. And there we go. Oops, there's one left. I thought I was done.
Judy said this is such a fun project. She shared it with her sewing guild. Thanks, Judy. We always love to hear that.
Nice. Nice. You know, I mean, right, everybody has a kitchen, so if you just wanted to, give something really cute, that's not. They'll think you worked harder. How's that? There we go. We're all finished.
Margaret just said she knows why she's been holding her stash of scraps. Good idea, Margaret. Oh,
there we go. We're all finished.
That looks so complicated, and I agree. Someone just posted that. It looks so complicated, and that is such an easy project. That's adorable.
Yeah, I know that's, and again, I mean, quilters, sewers, whatever, your home deck, you get these fabrics, and, of course, when you have you buy 2 yards, you have a quarter yard left. What do you do with it? You wonder, well, it makes 4 9x9 squares if it's regular quilting fabric. But there's, you could just cut them up when you're done and put them in a stack, and then one day just have a lot of fun playing with colors and stitches, and, maybe even trying new techniques. There's a lot you could do. And then, yes, it makes me want to do another show with the endpoint sticker. I wish I had some sitting right here. I'm about ready to run and get one.
I've got a whole stash of them right here. I'll bring one up.
But great idea. The great idea. If you wanted to, you could actually add one to where you wanted to, have it stop.
Arnell wants to know if she can see. Can you show the back?
Oh, sure.
Okay. That's adorable. It looks
Isn't that kind of fun?
Yes. Okay. Now I was not expecting the back to look like that. Were you?
I know.
Arnell, everybody watching. Were you
That's why I wound. Sorry.
No.
That's why I wound a bobbin. I think about that. If it's kind of got a lot of white in it, I'll just use a white bobbin and call it good.
Very, very cute. Very cute. And someone said, could I add a little thicker batting to it? Of course you could.
Yes, you could add 2. You could add 2 layers, maybe 1 layer of the heat and 1 layer of a batting. Make it thicker if you wanted to, just whatever you wanted to do. And you could actually get fabric that had something really fun you wanted to, use here in the center, or do an embroidery there if you wanted to. Get as creative as you want to with it.
Very, very. Brenda, what a great project. If any of you have questions, roll them in, because we'll take a second to answer those. But thanks, Stacy. What do you have to say? Did I miss it? What makes the potholder so stiff?
It's got the heat-resistant batting stuff. I'm not sure exactly the technical name, but you can find it at any fabric store usually. It's got that metal kind of fabric batting in it, and there's 6 layers of fabric.
That's
so
awesome.
You have a back, you have this front, and each one of these were a layer, as you remember, folded in half. So there's a lot of it just stands up really, really nice.
Very, very cute. Very cute.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. Again, it's the supplies that what you need for it is 6 9x9 squares of fabric. You're going to choose 4 for the folded ones. Fold them in half and press so that you have 4 triangles. To layer it up, you're going to take the backing, whatever you choose for your back, lay it on your table, right side down, add your heat reflective batting, 1 or 2 layers, whatever you want. And then the center here is what I'm calling the top layer, really, but you only see the center. That comes next, and that's right side up. And then you lay out your 4 squares, you press your 4 squares into triangles and lay them out one at a time, overlapping them. When you put the 4th one on, you're going to kind of lift up the corner of the first one and lay it right under there, and you'll end up with this. I can do that layer again if you'd like.
You know, it's so funny. Well, you know what? They can go back and watch that, but this is this is really funny. Everybody, I think you have a theme now, Brenda. You have now requests for oven mitts, matching curtains, napkins. I think we need to have a whole kitchen theme going on right now because this would be a perfect addition.
Yes, yes. Last time I made, I think last time I made one of these, I did it like with an ensemble with some placemats and a table runner.
So
and, you know, just kind of used the leftover fabrics to add to it. It was really fun. I thought, oh, what a cute little idea.
Yes, and those of you that did roll in late, you can go back and watch this. Just share it to your page if you're on Facebook or go back on YouTube. You can actually save the video on YouTube as well. So it'll save to your YouTube so you can go back and watch. What a great project. I'm just making sure I'm not, so someone said, what do the Snowball stickers look like? They look like this.
Thank you. Yes.
And just kind of like the snowman, but different. They're Snowball. So we're going to have to, Brenda, next time you come back, you're going to have to do another fun project.
Make sure I do that on whatever I do, right? Snowman, yes. Snowballs. We'll throw some snowballs next time.
Absolutely.
That would have been a great idea.
Oh, show the table runner. Do you have a table runner there? Did I miss that?
No, that was a project. I wish I did, but I don't have. It was just a matching fabric to a hot pad I made. It was a project. I don't have it. Sorry.
No, yeah. So hey, Patty, yeah, the snowballs only work on the luminaire. It's that new feature that came with it. That's really cool.
So that came with if you have the original luminaire one. That came as the last year's upgrade. It was in an upgrade last year that you could get that feature added.
Definitely. Oh, you've got a lot of ideas. Timothy says use a decorative double needle would look really cool.
Wow. Yeah. That would look cool. 2 threads.
Mm-hmm.
That would be fun. I'll have to try that. Thank you. Actually, I want to see all of you guys's.
I know. So do you want to, let me bring that back up. Do you want to just show your last few samples at your table one more time, just for those that rolled in a little bit later?
I'll go back to the table.
Yeah, because now I think that it'll make sense of how that came together and the different fabrics that you used.
Okay.
All right, I'll see you there. She's going to head back over there. And as soon as she gets back up. So you can see all those first samples that she showed you. Now it'll make sense how she did that. And you can see the different color combinations. Because when you first look at it, it looks so complicated. It's such an easy project. I love this. So this is very fun. If you have questions for Brenda, roll them in. I know there's a 20-second delay, but we will take a few minutes for questions. So she's just about back there. Oh, yes, Janice. So what you have to do, because let's see, you're on Facebook. When the video's over, just click share and share it to your page. That's all you have to do. And if you're on YouTube, you can save it and share it to your own to go back and watch. Yeah, definitely. She's almost there. I'm waiting till she's on there so you don't get seasick, right? All right. I think I see a thumbs up. There we are. Almost. Nope. There we go, Brenda. Sorry, I think you got muted. There you go. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Wonderful.
So these were some completed ones, you know, with just different fabrics. And then on the back, so fun. That one, of course, we just did.
I love that one. That just makes me think of summer.
Yeah, well, I was trying to get summery. And again, I put the green on the back. Here is one more. Another summery one. Ooh. There we go. And this one, I also changed it up with a different stitch.
Very cute.
But see, isn't the back kind of fun?
I like the back just as much. I mean, even if it got flipped over, it looks great.
Yep. So it's a lot of fun.
Very cute. So
scrap up and make some hot pads. Everyone's going to get a hot pad now for their birthday, Christmas, and everything else, right?
everyone was saying, let's make a bunch of these. So join me back on camera, Brenda.
Okay.
So we'll check see if there's any questions. And I did, by the way, I post up above. You can see the Instagram. Brother loves to see what you're working on, so be sure to tag them. You never know, you might be shared on their social channels. This I can definitely see being a very fun project for everyone. So there you are. Your quilt is gorgeous. And who was it? Maria just said, you guys are doing I Spy behind me because someone said, I want to see the blue dress. I'm like, what? The dress is way back there. I'll bring that out next in a couple weeks when I come back.
I have some quilting to do though.
You do?
Yes. Lots of, I love piecing them. I love quilting them too, but there's like, you go through spurts, and so it's time to start quilting.
I would think of, on your hot pad, just some fun ideas would be doing the quilting where the what we call quilt embroidery on there, on that bottom piece first. I mean, there are so many different options. I love the idea though of doing some embroidery. You could put little messages in there.
Yeah.
Initial, a lot of fun things.
Yes, because you could do some on the 9-inch squares before you cut them and fold them, if you did some placement, and then just fold them and add them, to the rotation of the hot pad, and be kind of fun.
Very fun. Well, thank you all for watching. It looks like that we've already answered all the questions. You're all easy. Everybody loves the quilts behind you, by the way.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it, you guys.
So Brenda, I'm looking forward to seeing you next time. And again, Brother's website, I also included mine down there because I have some of these episodes on there. If you go to Brother Sews, scroll to the bottom because their sewing and crafting blog is back. Talk about free projects. If you missed Tuesday's show, Joanne was on here talking about the free design of the month. We all love free, right?
It's a good prize.
Something that you could make on top of that. Actually, I think hers were buttonholes. So you'd have to figure out where to put buttonholes on the hot pad, but I think that will be a different project.
Buttonhole right in the center. Of course, you probably wouldn't use it for a hot pad then.
Yeah, no, maybe not. That would be right where your hand goes. So, Brenda, thank you so much. And all of you for watching. This is fantastic. So just so you know, Saturday will be a brand new season of It's So Easy launching on Saturday at noon. And next week, I am going to be out of town, so we have pre-recorded, but I will be joining you in the chat. So we have shows on Tuesday and Thursday at noon Eastern Standard Time. You will not want to miss them. May is Crafting with Felt, which is super cool. Talk about ornaments, tags, actually something that you can attach to your hot pad when you give it as a gift. And then Tina's going to be talking all about quilt embroidery and some fun things like that. So I will see you next week, kind of. I'll see you live. And Brenda, I can't wait to see you again. If you have questions for Brenda or you have questions about this project, just leave a comment and Brother will send us a note and we will reply as fast as we can. So again, Brenda, awesome project. I can hardly wait. What are you working on the rest of the weekend? Anything exciting?
I'm going to work on finishing up a project that it's taken a little while, so we'll see how far I get.
Well, good luck on that. I'm embroidering a couple hats this afternoon for my big fishing trip. So wish me luck. I have a pink one and a white one underneath the 10 needle. So if I can get it all lined up great, I'll have a little Win an Angel hat for the week.
Well, have a great vacation. Hope you're going somewhere really fun.
Just fishing.
Well, if that's really fun, then that's a good thing.
If it's not, it's not a good thing. So, all right, Brenda. And Brother Sewing and Crafting family, thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you soon on the social side.
Bye.
Bye.